well, instead of just reacting because you have some reduced mobility and you had some health situation for those residents, I mean, this is how it shows how prepared we are, and that from any kind of situation that we are able to address any situation.
Can you explain in English, sir, how it's going to work with the state of emergency? You're explaining in French.
Well, what it means, you mean the process itself? Yes. Okay, so for the first day, I had to get the power, the authority to declare it. So we've done that. So in the prevention mood, as you notice, if we need to requisite some other resources, instead of to go through all the process of the contracts, if the director said this is what I need, he's asking for it. If he needs a building to make sure to create some center, or that he has some special needs, he's able to do it. If he wants to close a district, if he wants to evacuate and order it, it's not just a matter, we ask for everybody's collaboration, of course, but you don't have any choice. You have to get out. So that's during the first day. It can be renewed for another 5 days. Through that, we will have tomorrow morning a council, municipal council and an ad hoc council to make it through, because it's not just to have the capacity to react immediately. If you want to prevent for the next 5 days, because when the water will get out, there is still a lot of things to do at that time, right? So I want to give all the chances to our director to instead of go administratively, he will have the capacity to say this is what I need, this is what I want, and he will have the capacity to do so.
How many compulsory evacuations have there been? How many forced evacuations have there been? No forced evacuations?
None. And that's why I said better having the capacity to do so if we feel, because sometimes we have to protect people against themselves, and they're mentally fatigued. It's pretty tough. Well, I saw some people in Ile Bizarre, in some other area in Pierrefonds, they're working 24 hours a day. You can have all the volunteers, but at one point, I mean, you peaked, and it's important to see that if there's a situation that we have our director would take that decision. So we still address the people and asking to collaborate. Myself and Jim Bass and some others, we've been door to door just to reassure people and say, listen, I remember we had a senior citizen that I met on the goal saying, listen, this is the situation now and we won't have any choice, please help us to help you. And she said, no, if there's a time where we don't have any choice, just let us know and we will do it. All right?
One question, now that we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, I guess, what has the city learned from this experience?
It's an ongoing learning. I mean, remember Ice Storm? From a federal level myself, I've been living some of the situation. I mean, those people are professional. They have already the expertise. That's why we call them the first respondent. So they've been living a different type of crisis, and they're reacting accordingly. Montreal has become one of the 100 resilient cities in the world, and that's one of the reasons. It's because of our way of doing things. We already, of course, learned from any experience. So that's why we have our commanding center for emergency measure. And we learn every crisis is an opportunity to enhance ourselves, to polish the game. But frankly, I'm truly impressed and pleased with the work of our director. We still have a lot of job to do, as you understand, but the prevention strategy, that's the vigilance agenda. The living together, when I said to have a balanced approach between openness and vigilance, through the vigilance agenda, it means also the resilience. The protocol means that if we live something like a natural catastrophe, that everybody is at their post, and we know it's kind of a reflex that we've been building up through, he's not the director for nothing, and I'm very pleased of his work.
A lot of people aren't insured for flood damage.
What I would suggest, and I'll take that as the last question, and I think it's a very legitimate one. Right now, through public safety, we spoke to the board of treasurer in Quebec. When you live that kind of situation, already you have some capacity to address it. Of course, the city of Montreal will take a look at that and make sure that we can accompany the people during that time. But for now, the priority, of course, is to help the people, to protect them, and when the time will come, through Mr. Coderre, myself. The fact that the armed force are here too, there is some expense attached to it, but there is some automatic program that already exists. But I will be there before, during, and after to accompany them. All right. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup. Merci.